Hello, everyone. We are having a new cinema club tonight, and I'm the guest host, Selena. With me tonight, we have in LA, Jason, and right next to me, Steven. And I had the honor to pick a movie, and the first thing that came into my mind was Shrek. And that's what we are watching now, or reviewing. We watched it. So, and probably everyone has watched it in the childhood and now again. So I'm curious to hear what the thoughts were then and now. And
Awesome. Why'd you pick this movie tonight?
I've been craving to watch it again. It's like a comfortable movie, and I've been like,
Sure.
yes, I want to see this again. And I remembered it to be in my childhood very, very funny, and I just was curious to see if I still think it's hilarious. And yeah, but I want to hear your opinions on that first, and also want to know, in which language did you watch it first?
Oh, wow. Uh, yeah. Well, listen. Should I do my first impression?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do my first impression. So I did. I watched this in English when I originally saw it, like I do probably 90% of the movies that I watch. Um, which it's a. I'm glad you actually asked that question. We'll get into that a little later about the international success of this film, and why that might be. But so this is actually only my second time watching this movie. The first time I watched it, it was very popular at the time, and it was out on DVD. And I bought it on a Black Friday sale. So,
Oh.
however many years ago this came out, on that Black Friday is when I actually bought this movie. Um, now, when I first saw this movie, like I don't think I was quite the demographic for it. I wasn't really in love with cartoons at that time of my life because I had pretty much like just started college when this movie came out.
Mm.
So like I wasn't really so much wanting to watch cartoons, and like I was like starting my journey as an actor. So I was probably trying to just like watch serious movies. I don't know, but it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't really for me. And I remember when I watched, and I bought it because it was such a big movie, and everybody had been talking about it and whatnot. And when I remember watching it, I didn't love it. Not because I didn't think it was good. It's just like there was so much hype around it. I was like, that it. Um, so I was actually really excited to watch it this time around because it's been so long. It's been like 20 years at least since I've seen this thing probably. Um, and so I was really interested in like how I was going to feel about it this time around. And I was also interested in like, was the animation going to hold up? And
Yeah.
surprisingly, I thought the animation held up pretty well for this thing. At first, I was like, "Oh, this might be clunky," but then as the movie goes on, there's a flow to it. There's a certain like structure and flow to the animation where I'm like, "This is pretty good." I really like how the townspeople are animated in this because they're making some really funny facial expressions when they talk. And the voiceover acting is fantastic. And, that keeps popping out to me. Like Eddie Murphy is just sensational in this thing. The story structure is very, very simple, which I like. It's only a 90-minute cartoon, which I also like. And it's like that it's just three acts. It's three acts. We find out who the characters are, and then their adventure is laid before us. And exactly, I was timing it. I was looking at the screen at exactly the 30-minute mark. They go to face the dragon in 30
Mm.
minutes of the movie. And when I was watching it the first time, I thought like, oh, I thought that was closer to the end when they had to go against the dragon. But it's usually that's the crescendo when you fight the big thing. But this movie
Yeah.
does things kind of like backwards, where the dragon becomes like an ally, and whatever. But so yeah, this thing is very cleanly written in three acts. And to me, honestly, I know Mike Myers and Shrek is the thing's named Shrek, and he's the star of it. But really, Donkey steals the whole movie for me. I think all the voiceover acting was good. Cameron Diaz is very good in this. John Lithgow is the villain, Prince or King or whatever he is. Very good. And all the little, auxiliary characters like the gingerbread man. I remember him being funny. He was still very funny. Spitting icing in the guy's face.
Yeah.
That was very funny. Yeah, but those are my first impressions. The movie holds up. It's honestly better now as an adult because I'm picking it apart a little bit more as an adult. And I'm looking at it like the lessons. I'm looking for like the value and the lessons in this thing. And I'm wondering like how does this thing relate for children and how does this thing relate for adults? And I still kind of wonder why kids liked it so much because it does feel at times like a lot of adult themes in this thing. And I was like, I don't know why kids loved it so much, but maybe you guys can help me with that. But those were my initial thoughts.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And let's hear what Steve thinks about it or thought about it.
Okie dokie. What I thought about it, well, first of all, to answer your question in particular, of basically what what language did I saw the movie first? So originally, I watched this film in Spanish. I would say I watched this film more times in Spanish than I've seen it in English.
Mm.
Probably seen it in English maybe 2 times. In Spanish, I've probably seen it like 5, 6, 7 times.
Wow.
Um, but I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I just watched it in English. And I would say, like, it in both languages is really good, but in Spanish is so good. It's just so again, some jokes. It's just some jokes hit harder in Spanish than in English, but in English it has loads of amazing jokes. And like listening to the original cast, especially Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy steals it. Like Jason said, is incredible. But for example, the gingerbread man scene that he's being like tortured by Farquaad in Spanish is literally something that still up to this day gets quoted
Mm.
because that's how good it is in the Spanish version. And also, when I originally watched it, it was like DVD version or something. So right after they had like a karaoke party scene, just like an extra scene,
Mhm.
and that was one of the highlights for me when I watched it the first time. This time, it wasn't included in the thing; it was just the movie. But overall, I think it definitely still holds up. And what I do remember more than anything, because I know Jason is a little bit older, uh, is that essentially this movie when it came out, it just broke the mold of like animated movies because a lot of animated movies just dominated by Disney, and Disney has a very structured format that they won't deviate from.
Mhm.
But like this movie when it came out, it was just like a breath of fresh air. It's almost like wow, you can be funny and very creative in like animation.
Yeah.
And we're talking about something that even now it seems like things are heading to a crazy direction, but like back in that day there was no AI. Like this was like a lot of like hard work just to make this happen. And the fact that they like work so hard to make not only this very cool simple story, but like so fun, so entertaining, and just laugh so many jokes to it. Because there's some things that is like you can tell they improvised some things. There's no way they wrote that in a script. Certain things, it was just like they just riffed off each other and things like that, and
Right.
it's great. It's great to just like see that. It creates a different feel, man. When things are so scripted that you're just tied to that script, it just takes out the factor of as a film being timeless. But when there's some improv and it's like really good improv by like really good artists, like the film, I mean we saw it last week with Step Brothers, and like or not last week but a couple weeks ago, but like and now with this one I still think it holds up. I thought it was going to be stale or a lot of jokes weren't going to land or whatever, but it was, to me it was still great, and the animation also cool stuff too. and I'm looking at with 2025 now, 2026 technically eyes. So yeah, first impressions, amazingness.
Right
Yeah,
on.
24 years later, that's crazy that it
Crazy.
came out. It's just a long time. I watched this movie when I was a child, pretty young, and I watched it in German, and I do have to say, like, I love the German version of it. And I'm like confused why Shrek has an accent or a dialect, or I don't know what it is. I'm like, why is he speaking like that? But anyway, but I have always Donkey's German voice in my head. But I was able to like get to him, and I remembered also like which jokes and things I thought were funny as a child, and I can like see now the other layer coming in for the adulthood. That is like, oh, okay, now it's just like there is something in this movie for everyone. There's like this him taking out the candle out of his ears, where it's like, that's so gross, and all these farting jokes, and that really like, yeah, got me as a child, and this whole colorful Disney thing world happening, and now seeing it as a grown up, all these like hidden jokes and small things, and like for that it has been filmed 24 years ago, or produced. It's crazy how good it is in animation wise. Just like the humans, I found like, oh, that's they look pretty like, yeah, animated, but like the donkey and the Shrek and everyone is like, wow, that's amazing. And also like, as you said, the flow, it's very catchy, the music they picked. I was just laughing so much watching it again. I'm like so happy. It's just like to this day still very good. So I'm very excited about that. So I think it's time to pick the favorite character. What do you think?
I think so. I just want to touch on something that you said,
Yeah.
that both of you said actually about like the languages. So the fact that we all originally seen this in a different language, I'm very curious for two reasons. One, this was a very international picture. I might as well just get into the numbers really quick, like up front, because I think that plays a part of the story that we're about to like illustrate here. So this
Yeah,
movie
go
was
for
made
it.
on a $60 million budget, which is a lot, back then for an animated movie. But it grossed 495 or 92 million worldwide. So almost $500 million worldwide this thing did. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason I think it did that, now that we're talking about it, is because it was so successful in so many different languages. And I don't think every movie does that. And so this obviously did do that. And so what makes me curious about that is that, you guys are saying that you laughed at, Donkey. You both said that you laughed at Donkey so much. You saw it in German and you saw it in Spanish. And neither one of those were Eddie Murphy, right? And dare I say, maybe I'm being biased, but it is Eddie Murphy, one of the funniest humans that we know, right? I have to assume that Eddie Murphy had the funniest version of it. But what made it Donkey funny in the other languages to you guys? Like, was there a difference in seeing it in English or seeing it in Spanish and German?
You go first.
Well, to me, I don't particularly. I haven't seen it in Spanish in a long time. So I cannot directly tell you, hey, it was this, whatever. But I think for in the Spanish, I guess donkey in general, they had someone, which I don't know who the person was, that was a great voice actor, and like more than likely the script that that person was reading from, um, it was great. Like it was great written and stuff like that. But I'm talking in Spanish at least. I'm not talking. I'm not isolating Donkey. I'm just saying the movie in general. Like it's super enjoyable, and there's so many jokes from a bunch of different characters that just land differently in a particular way in Spanish that I when I see those scenes in English, I'm like, oh, that was cool, but like in Spanish is better. In particular, the
Yeah.
one that jumps out the most, because again, it gets quoted even up to this day, is the one with the gingerbread man when he's being tortured. Because like in English, the joke is, what was the joke in English? I forgot. Um,
What is this in Spanish?
Pimpón se lava la carita con agua y con jabón. So like there's a song called Pimpón es un muñeco muy guapo y de cartón se lava la carita con agua y con jabón. So he's just like basically saying that. In English, they're doing that version, but like with some other English thing. I don't think it's Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I forgot what it was. But they do like a play thing of like,
Oh,
but
right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So like when I watch it in English, it was like, it's okay. But in
They're
Spanish,
going back and forth. Yeah,
yeah, when they're going back and forth, that he's very
Mm,
close to the gingerbread man.
yeah,
Uh, but like, yeah, the that lands so freaking hard in Spanish.
yeah. It wasn't Mary Had a Little Lamb. It was something
No, no, I know it's
with
something
another.
else,
Yeah,
but I just can't remember right now.
right. Yeah, I know
But
what
it's
you're talking
like
about.
that. Like for example, that you can't even remember. I can't remember. But
Right,
in Spanish, it's so iconic that you just can't forget it.
for sure, for sure. What about you mentioned Shrek having an accent. So he has like a Scottish sort of accent in this thing. But
yeah.
in German, does he still have a Scottish German accent? Like how does it work?
No, I felt like he was just talking normal German, like maybe in a lower voice, but
Mhm.
like the donkey in comparison was had like a very annoying voice, but in a funny way.
Sure.
And also the gingerbread man, it just like was so high pitched. It's just like I felt like compared to Shrek, the donkey and the gingerbread man, they were like so extra.
Yeah.
That made, or that's how I remember it in the childhood, like, oh, so yeah, so remarkable and staying. So no, I didn't have an accent, so that's why I was so confused, like what the fuck. They
Yeah,
had
right.
why did they have this? But yeah, I thought it was a funny little twist that I didn't expect it. And something else I found out that was surprising is that I thought in my head there's like Shrek 1 and 2, and that's it. And when I looked for it, I was like, oh no, there's Shrek 1, 2, 3, and whoever Christmas and musical version. And I'm like,
And a four, and there's a Puss in Boots, one and
yeah,
two.
yeah. I was like, okay, they rided this wave on success to the end. And still going strong, I think.
It's
This
still going. There's probably going to be another one. I know the last Puss in Boots movie did very well. It was nominated for an Oscar.
oh wow, crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just casted some people for like a new Shrek
What?
because
Wow.
Marcelo from Saturday Night Live is gonna play
Oh,
one of Shrek's kids or something.
that's funny.
Yeah, I feel like I have to dive into this Shrek version a little bit. Like watch the movies in all different languages and like watch all these movies and,
I will admit, after watching Shrek, the second one was queued up. And so I watched like the first 30 minutes of the second one. And I'm like, it's like a direct continuation. I'm like, this is actually pretty good. Like, I'm probably going to finish this.
No, I mean, yeah, like the second one is pretty decent, but
Yeah, that's good.
3, 4, Christmas, all this is like, yeah, it's too much for me. But
Yeah, just too much Shrek after a while. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
they milked that thing like a prize cow. And they should have, because the first one made $500 million. So there's
Yeah.
always going to be a fan base for these Shrek movies.
Yeah. And I mean, 24 years later, we're like still talking about it. So that's pretty impressive. They
He's
did
an
a great.
iconic character, Shrek. I mean, he's a big part of. I mean, DreamWorks. Like, is he in an amusement park anywhere, Shrek? Does he appear like he's not Disney? Is he at Universal or what is he?
I don't know.
Universal.
Okay, so like he's a part of that world. I mean, he's a big character, man. Like, he's the biggest cartoon over at DreamWorks, and yeah, I mean, he's definitely like you have to put Donkey on Eddie Murphy's highlight reel all time, right?
Mm,
It's one of the most important characters he ever played. I know that's weird to say, but it's true. Just like Genie is that important to Robin Williams.
mm, yeah, makes sense. I think that's a great time to jump into favorite character. Who
Indeed.
wants to start? Jason?
Sure. Favorite. So if you would have asked me this the first go around, I would have 100% said that gingerbread man because he's just so funny and he has this high voice and high pitched voice, and you don't expect to see a character like that in a movie. Um, and it just feels like they're breaking the rules a little bit because like they're breaking his little like they're hurting a character and he's a cute sweet character and like they're breaking his legs and crumbling him up, and as a kid I feel like that'd be a little like traumatizing, but it works because we don't know him yet, we don't know the character. Like our first time seeing him basically is on this table being tortured.
Yeah.
And he's got like not a foul mouth, but he's got like a bit of a smart mouth, and he's playing tough and he spits in the guy's face, and all that's very funny. So that would have been my guy originally. But this time around, man, I'm just so impressed with that donkey. He's so funny, and he really carries this movie for me.
Yes.
So did I hear this correct, or you called Eddie Murphy a donkey just now?
Well, he is the donkey, but
Okay.
he is donkey.
He's donkey.
Well, jumping on that, I'll tell you my favorite character.
I also
And
love that he doesn't have a name. It's just donkey.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It really doesn't have a name, right? It's just a donkey.
It's just donkey.
That's funny. Yeah,
It's not a donkey, it's donkey.
it's
Donkey.
donkey. It's just donkey. Okay,
It's
cool.
donkey.
So I special shout out to the townspeople, especially the ones in the beginning where
Mhm.
like Shrek scares them and they're like, oh, and sweating and everything because that's hilarious. Um, and yeah, and like as much as I would like to give, and then shout out also to like the song when they arrive to Dula. That's also another iconic moment in Spanish. It was iconic in English, but like in Spanish, it's like also super hilarious that song when they get there and then they have their face like what, and they get a picture taken.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah.
Like whoever wrote that part, hilarious. I know we're not talking about
It's
favorite
great.
scene right now, but that's up
Yeah,
there.
hold it back.
Yeah. And but Donkey, yeah, Donkey stands out, especially in English. Like it's crazy. Like if I watched the version in Spanish, I probably would have said also the Gingerbread Man. But like because I watched it in English, Eddie Murphy's just too freaking good. He's just too damn good, man. There's nothing. There's nothing this man can do wrong. Like it's just incredible, incredible stuff.
Yeah, he really is the donkey.
Yeah, I have to follow this opinion. It's just like how can someone be so present in a movie that is not the main character, but still like giving enough space for the whole story and not taking it over? So yeah,
You
that's
really could give Donkey his own movie,
yeah. It's like
but he doesn't need to. I mean, he's just great as a sidekick. It's really
yeah, and the thing, and I just like I think everyone knows this side of themselves where like you're the annoying one. I'm being like, hey, hey, hey. And it's just like triggers this part again of like, ah, yeah, sometimes I can be like that. And sometimes I'm like more Shrek. And it's just remembers. And also I was surprised this time watching it how like charming Shrek is. It's just like so beautiful to see like how he like stands there with the flower of like, oh, what do I gonna say? And like, yeah, it's
yeah.
just like little scenes of yeah, we're all like struggling with the same things, and yeah, they're like put so much emotion and jokes in every scene and every character, and everyone like gets to like shine.
I
And
love that scene where he comes with the flower and he's like trying to rehearse what he wants to say to her, and
yeah,
he says, Fiona, I want to first off, let me ask, how are you? Like that as the rehearsal is so funny.
yeah, it's so cute. It's so
Yeah,
adorable. It's like, oh, so much, yeah, heart in it. And yeah, I feel like every character has their special things to them. I love, for example, that like the wannabe prince is very short. It's just like I didn't have that in my mind before.
yeah.
I just think it's hilarious.
It's very funny.
Yeah,
It's
and then
also
he
funny
like
that he tries
tries
to
to keep
mask
it.
it.
Yeah, he tries
Like
to mask it.
on
That's
the
hilarious.
horse is the best.
Yeah, that was so funny. And then also like that in every other scene, they like when they like put him in the cake lower and stuff. So it's just like they hit on it as
It's
much as
great.
they can. So yeah, I think it's just like not maybe the character itself, but like how they all play around this fun fact about one specific character.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's very great. So let's jump to the next thing. Favorite scenes and funniest lines.
Oh wow. Um, Favorite scene is really difficult because this time around, like I said, I had more of an emotional connection to the movie than I did the first time. Because I also kept thinking like how vulnerable Donkey is in all of this, right?
Yeah.
Because like he's basically being auctioned off. He's being sold off by his owner. Like so he's being discarded for like a few, coins because he's magic and can talk. And so like, he's happy to get away and survive. And then his savior, Shrek, doesn't want anything to do with him and he immediately likes him and wants them to be best friends. But he is like the annoying guy who won't go away. And I just kept feeling like for the vulnerability of Donkey because his feelings get hurt a lot in this thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
at one point, they're walking and talking, and he's asking Shrek for advice on how to let someone down gently, meaning the dragon. And it's
Mm.
like Donkey is so nice. Like he's getting hurt so many times in this movie, feelings wise, and he's like spending his time worried about the feelings of this dragon that he really has no reason to ever see again. But he wants to do the right thing to go let her down nicely, which I thought was just very sweet and very funny. It's almost a throwaway line when they're walking the forest. You guys may not even remember that moment, but it's really nice.
Do you?
I don't know if that's my favorite scene, but that's the one that just stuck out in my mind because I didn't really remember it from before.
No, that's very nice that you point that out because like yeah, I didn't have that yeah, like on, but also like when he gets hauled by the dragon, I was like, wow, that was 24 years ago, but they're like doing consent talk or like jokes around that topic. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they've been yeah, already on those things. So that stood out for me. But that's not my favorite scene. You want to go ahead though, Stephen?
You can go ahead if you have it.
Now there's many good scenes. I just always like love the magic moment when Fiona gets picked up by this golden light and like transforms into that. It's just like and then the light spreads out. This is just like so like when this happens in the movie, I feel this expansion in myself and I'm like
Oh
so
wow.
that's just like more the maybe if, what happens in me that touches me the most. But yeah, I think my favorite that's like the most touching one, and the favorite scene is when they where you said with the photo boom. But like it had this before this little what is this? Like this little figures like doing a little dance and having like this little joke. You can kiss my or wash my and then they say face. And
Wait, what part is this?
yeah,
It,
this
it
sorry.
is when they arrive to Duloc and
Dula.
they
Ah, yeah, that's the
they're
place.
getting the rules of the place by
Mm.
characters.
And it's like this 20 little figures doing like a little dance.
Oh, right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so and that has this joke, and then instantly after the photo boom where they're like shocked. So that's just like, yeah, this is it's just like the intensity of like jokes falling one another. It's just, yeah, this one is my favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Donkey really liked those guys too.
Yeah.
I would say that like definitely that scene is very memorable for me. Uh, if I was watching it in Spanish, I would mention the gingerbread man scene. It's iconic. And then when essentially Shrek welcomes the donkey, but not quite, and he's sleeping outside, and Shrek is eating food, and then all of a sudden, all these characters start to move in so abruptly.
Yeah.
Like the three blind mice are just stumbling around, and then the dwarves move in Snow White, and like all this stuff. I think, yeah, I think that scene is great
So I didn't really understand that scene. Why is everyone moving into his swamp all of a sudden, all at once?
because it was ordered by Lord Farquaad.
He pushed them all into the swamp.
So here's the thing, and here's also why Donkey shines in this film. So Donkey is also the voice of reason, not only the comic relief and all that stuff, because essentially this is happening. Like he's just living his quiet life. He met Donkey, right? Donkey decided I want to be your friend, but he's kind of like you can be kind of like my outside dog, if anything, you know. And then all these people move in abruptly all of a sudden, and Shrek is like, "Why are you guys here? This is like my swamp. This is private. This is my property." And they were like, "Oh, we were ordered by Lord Farquaad to
Right.
essentially settle here. Like this is the place we have
Mm,
to be because we got kind of exiled from where we're
yes.
from or whatever."
Yes.
And he said, "Well, I'm gonna go personally to Lord Farquaad, and I'm gonna come back and essentially get this back." And
Right.
on their way there, Donkey is telling Shrek, "So right now, so you have your swamp. That's like yours. And now this dude ordered these people to live in your swamp. And you're going to that dude to ask him to essentially get those people out of your swamp already? Like that doesn't make sense." So like that's what Donkey essentially is telling Shrek. And Shrek is like, "Yeah, we gotta do it, type of thing."
Yeah, he's just like, I don't care what I have to do to get this my home back, but I'm gonna do it. If that
Right.
is like being a princess.
Yeah.
So
But Donkey's already telling him, like, yo, he was the dude that ordered those people to be there.
Yes.
Like, it's your
Yes.
property. Like, what are you saying?
Right.
Yeah.
and one of my other favorite scenes was when Stephen pointed out that they ended up in a wrestling cage and doing like a fight and like had all these insights from wrestling. I'm like, whoa, it's just like there's so many hidden jokes to all of that. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
watched
because
this movie a lot and had like, oh, that's my favorite scene. And this is so like,
I
yeah.
like the wrestling touch just because it's like, I can see the dilemma of like, okay, in that scene, there's going to be fighting, but we
Mhm.
can't like actually be showing murder and stuff like that.
Right.
So, how can we make it like he's still taking them out, but you're not seeing people getting killed and stuff.
Right.
Okay, let's do wrestling.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
pretty nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's playful way.
Right. And it's not gonna upset kids. And it was kind of funny when she pulls the arrow out of his butt. Like I was half expecting there to be blood on the arrow.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, there's no blood. And then I was like, yeah, of course there's no blood. This is a kid's film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what's that?
Just a very clean arrow in and out. And like there's just he had no blood on himself or like it was fine. It's just it was in and out.
Yeah, but then they put so much detail on that. So like they got Donkey busy with the flowers, and then when he walked off, Steven actually like reversed the movie. So like, look, he's limping.
Mm,
So like they did think of that. So I'm like, oh,
okay.
Yeah, literally, like I mean, as a kid, I would never capture that, but as an adult that likes film, I was like, oh look, Shrek is literally he's in what in the wrestling world they call it selling. So Shrek was selling the arrow of like,
Right on.
yeah,
it's
I don't
just
know if
very
you guys
short.
know this, but it's on my head right now. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be Mike Myers in the role of Shrek.
Yeah, it was Chris Farley.
It was Chris Farley.
Yeah, she doesn't. He has no idea who that person is. But
no,
I'll
like,
I'll post the video in the group chat once we're done, so you can watch it.
yeah,
perfect.
I
But
Yeah,
honestly think it would have been a completely different film.
it would have been different. There was no Scottish accent, but from the first read that they recorded, I liked it. I was like, oh, Chris Farley's actually pretty good as Shrek.
I think, to be honest with you, I think I saw what you're talking about that you're gonna share. Um, but I personally think Mike Myers had to be the guy because it just
the one that does it now
yeah,
or
because
did it
like
now.
it just gives it a more, it's more appropriate for Shrek to have that type of voice,
Mhm.
and also it makes a more universal appeal versus like Chris Farley's take to me was like cool enough for like the states and especially people that know him and all that stuff, but like for it to reach really like a big audience, I understand that there's translation and everything, but I just don't think the movie would have been as big. That's what I think.
Interesting take, and you might be right about that. Like the accent probably does do something.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think in this movie, just like so many things came together that made it like magical and like it exploded and they got so successful and
It's
like
it's
everything
really
happened.
great in that regard. You think about like they live in this fairy tale world, this fairy tale kingdom, and everybody all over the world has heard of at least half of these fairy tales. The three
Yeah,
blind mice and the dwarfs living there, and
there
the
were
the
bears, the
yeah the
bears.
bears and the wolf and the I don't know if they call them the pixies, like all that,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
or Tinkerbells or whatever they're called. Like, yeah, all that's like very funny. And, we all know about these, like, childhood fairy tales and them mixing this world together and making it all one world is, to me, I think that's also what helps sell the thing internationally.
yeah, yeah. Everyone has something to relate to
Mhm.
on that one.
now another thing I do want to bring up is the score,
Oh, we have to. We got to talk about that.
What score?
the music.
Ah,
Well, the score and the music that they selected for the movie, like the popular music, like "You're an All Star," do 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 do. Like I
Mhm.
remember all the kids loving that song, like just listening to it. It became just a staple for. It was already a big song, and then it got like a whole nother life because children loved it. I don't know how much the band loves that, other than the money, but because it did kind of turn into a children's song. Um, but just the general music they selected for the movie, like when the movie first comes on, the sort of fairy tale, sort of like orchestra music that they have playing or symphony music, like that's very nice. And also the song that Fiona sings um, when she gets up in the morning, that was very nice. So
Mm.
yeah, there were some really nice choices of music in this movie. Like I thought the music was, I never noticed it before, but I thought it was great. I mean, outside of the "You're an all star," do 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 do. Like other than that, like I didn't remember any of the music for this thing, but it was all really good.
Yeah, I every song that came up, I like instantly like, okay, that's Shrek, or I was like, oh, that's a very famous song that they picked for like this movie. So there's the movie, the songs were always like, oh yeah, catching attention, definitely. You
Yeah,
were
for
always
sure.
singing along to them. What did you think about the songs collection?
You know, then I saw her face, and I'm a believer.
Yeah, man. There's a ton of those. Like, there's got to be like 4 or 5 of those sort of popular songs in the movie.
These are like the songs that you put on. Now that's what I call pop 21. You know, like those.
100%. These are those songs.
Yes,
There's also
yes, yes, yes. This Heaven
Now
song.
that's what I call music. Volume 59.
Smash Mouth. Yeah. I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Isn't
But
there
they still go so well, those songs as well. This movie has aged well.
aged remarkably well, much better than I anticipated.
Yeah.
When they show up to her hometown, uh, they're playing Funky Town. Come to Funky Town. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes, yes.
When they go back to not her home, but when they go to Lord Fuqua's home,
Farquaad. But
Farquaad, Farquaad.
Those names.
but they play Funky Town.
Yeah, yeah. Da na 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 na.
Yeah.
Da
But
na 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 na. The
I wonder
song.
if it was in this movie or the next, the second one.
Yeah, it was definitely not the first movie, man.
It wasn't.
No.
It could be that was in the second movie because I definitely remember that, and I think that's when they like went in this horse, you know.
Oh, maybe you're right because I did start the second movie right after the first.
See, 'cause
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
when
you're right.
they go on their long journey.
I was like, I don't remember hearing.
No, you're
Funky
right. Good
at all.
call. Good call out. Yep, that's 100% when they go back to her parents' house. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
Good
but
call out.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
mixing up movies. But still, regardless, I mean, they picked a few really popular songs that were of the time, and they ran these things. I remember like hating that Smash Mouth All Star song like a couple
mhm.
years after this movie.
Listen, I'm not a fan, but it does add a touch to the movie.
100%. It's great song selection. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely not on my playlist,
Yeah,
but
it will
Yeah,
never be on my
they're
playlist.
popular. They're like step like world songs they used, and they were really fitting.
Yeah, they were perfect.
Yeah. So, is there anything special we have to talk about the movie?
Uh, I think maybe a little bit. We should talk about like some of the themes of the movie that maybe like stuck out to us. Like what is this movie even really about? Like what is it trying to say? Like what's the
Mm,
values of the movie?
I
And
think I think honestly there's a lot of different layers to the movie. It's just like pacing wise, I just feel like this movie got cut down a lot. Like I feel like they had like
mm,
extra stuff, but just because they wanted to like just have it sharp and be like 130
Mhm.
there,
Yeah,
they cut down a lot. Because there's a lot that it touches, but it's so quick that it's like it doesn't let it simmer or for
right.
you to really analyze. So for a kid, it would just go quick like this. But for an adult that's like paying attention to those things, there's a lot of stuff. And I mean, there's so many things. One of the things you can say even from the get go with the whole thing that I told you about Donkey telling Shrek about your land and all this stuff, that's like people in government, you know,
Mhm.
like what is your right? Like who has the right to like send people or who has the right to let people out of your like property, whatever, like all those
Right.
things are part of it. Also, like how people feel in the world of like how they're physically are and like
yeah.
how people perceive them. Because like Shrek was like, being scary and all that stuff, but then later he softened up and he became more open to like instead of scare people away, like talk to them and like be more like human like ish.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, but there's a bunch of themes. There's just like Donkey and the Dragon. that relationship and the whole
Yeah.
consent, and Donkey being like, yeah, I know you like me, but like, can we just like be friends? Like,
Slow down.
and like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
too fast for me. It's a lot. There's layers upon layers like an onion.
Yeah, that dragon was lonely, man. She was
Yeah.
happy to get some affection.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are layers to it. So some of the themes that kind of like poked me like right in the face when I was watching it this time was like because it sort of does peel back, layer by layer. Like the theme, I won't say it changes, but it does cover a lot. Like the first one is like insecurity. Like everybody keeps calling Shrek ugly, and he just ignores it. And he doesn't like really like it. And then
Mm.
I think that's a part of the reason why he's like, I'd rather just be alone because everybody's kind of jerks and sort of mean, and they keep calling me a big, dumb, ugly ogre, and I don't like that. And so he's kind of like just learned to be happy with himself. And Donkey kind of says that when they first meet, like, "Oh, I like you because you're the kind of guy that doesn't care what anybody thinks of him." And that's what I really admire that about you. And that's the first thing that Donkey says, like that he likes about Shrek. You know, like Shrek is confident even though like people, whatever. And then like Fiona obviously is dealing with like those issues within herself because she keeps changing. And she doesn't really know who she is or who she really wants to be, or like she wants to be a human because like that's like her main form. But when she goes to sleep at nighttime or over in the dark, or excuse me, the sunset, he turns into something else. And then like you said, like Lord Farouk, what's his name? Farouk. He
Farquaad.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
it's
dealing with like this shortness, you know what I mean? So he has sort of a an inadequacy, about himself as well. Um, then I feel like there's a lot of little themes that you know for like people to look at. Like there's like loneliness and a sense of belonging to something. Like having friends and partnerships. All those things are like really kind of touched on in the movie. Um, yeah, yeah, those are the ones that like pop out to me like now that I'm talking. But I feel like when I was watching it, there was a lot more.
yeah. There's many. Like the first thing, really like friendship, and then like the second layer after friendship, the relationships, and then like who to pick, like the thing that makes sense or like the thing that feels right, like follow
Right.
your heart kind of story. And yeah, it's just like also I remember a scene where the donkey is like apologizing and like making it up again, like things maybe don't like are always good, but like we can apologize and then things are good again. And yeah, like little
Yeah, he
hidden.
said that's what friends do.
Yeah, that's what friends do exactly. So that is really yeah, them growing together and like being from this loneliness to like, oh, there's people that like me, how I am, who I am, the way I am. And yeah, it's just very cute, especially like those little moments. And then yeah, what else?
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
feel like I feel
topic.
like there's some more in there too that I'm overlooking in the moment. But I feel like this thing is littered with like little valuable lessons like that throughout.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it left me with a very good feeling of like, oh yeah, that's just like a warm heart, because of all these little beautiful moments that happens and like relating to like, oh yeah, like those heartbreaks and those um, fun moments and getting through stuff together and then picking the right things.
What about you, Steve?
I got no opinion.
So I just looked it up just because I needed a little help. But some of the themes that appear in Shrek, some of the main themes are appearances are deceiving.
I
True.
said that.
Oh, did you? True
Yeah.
beauty comes from within.
I
Uh,
said that.
Yeah.
love and friendship can be found in unexpected places.
Yeah, we covered the main things. Or
That's
we
right.
we got them. We got them out.
Yeah, and the film also highlights how difficult it can be to be overcome with loneliness and the fear of rejection.
Oh, yeah, the
Because I
donkey.
mean, that's what that's what they were both really afraid of. When they overheard, when Shrek overheard her having that conversation, and he only got like a little piece of the conversation. And he's like,
Yeah,
"Wow, she's being so mean to me behind my back." And then, like, vice versa. There's just a huge miscommunication, and then they were mean to each other once they were like, out in the open speaking to each other because they were hurt and they were afraid of being rejected. So they just became mean when, in fact, neither one of them was trying to reject the other person at all. Which,
yeah,
the way they handled that, I thought was pretty good too.
yeah. That was very smooth in the end. Yeah, and you were like, "Oh no, everything is good. You just don't know it."
Yeah, yeah, that was
Uh,
that was pretty awesome. I thought all that was handled pretty nicely. Also, the end, that was like the fastest I've ever seen them do away with a villain. And it was time for him to go, I suppose. But when the dragon burst in and eat Lord Farquaad, like,
yeah.
yeah, like that, it was so fast and it happened so quick. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. That's about how quickly we should dispose of that guy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that as well, but I was like, yeah, that's a smooth exit for him.
yeah, exactly. It was kind of like perfect. And also,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if they were thinking sequel after they made this movie, but because it's so short and sweet, it's almost like let's not cover too much because we're going to cover this thing for the next 25 years.
And they do.
And they did.
Yeah, amazing. So that's already like hitting final thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we're in final thought land.
Yes, Steven,
But
you want to start?
Okay. Final thoughts. Shrek is an amazing movie. Go watch it if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Uh, Shrek is a groundbreaking movie. Nothing like it was made before it. Now, and I think also Shrek inspired
mm,
like a lot of things subsequent to this film being released because slowly but surely there was more budget for animated things and people trying different things. Like I honestly think after this movie was kind of like correct. I mean, I definitely don't want to put it in that category. Those are two completely different things. But Jason, when was the Boondocks release?
the Boondocks, like the cartoon.
Yeah,
Ugh, my guess would probably be around the same time as this.
same time.
That would be my guess. I mean, I'll double check,
Okay.
but I want to say it was around the same time.
But I definitely don't want to compare Boondocks to this at all. Those are two
Sure.
completely different worlds. But what I'm saying is just more edgier things and like more, I guess, not necessarily adult theme cartoons, but just like cartoons that are more edgier. They're not just in the Disney mold,
The
where
Boondocks
basically
cartoon started in 2005, so about 40 years later.
there you go. So see, so everything that like came after essentially this animated wise, like even the Family Guys and like all this stuff were like way more edgier, and I think Shrek opened a lot of that door for many things because
Mm.
like it was an animated film that like both kids and parents could enjoy at the same time. Like the kids are not gonna get some adult stuff, but like the adults are gonna enjoy it a lot because of like the witty jokes, the quickness, all the stuff, and the story is pretty straightforward. Anybody can follow it. Doesn't matter if you're 3 years old or you're 60. Like it's very easy to follow. It's pretty straightforward. It's a very easy watch. So I would highly recommend it to people that either haven't seen it in a long time or for some reason this hasn't been in the radar and they never seen it before, or they don't have a niece and a nephew that they haven't seen it with. So yeah, those are what I would recommend. It's a great film, still holds up. Um, two thumbs up. I will definitely watch it again. In the future, not right now. Because I just got done watching it. But yeah, those are my final thoughts.
Very cool.
Yes. I go next, I would say. Then we keep our international guest later. I really enjoyed this movie. I was like, yeah, that was. I know why I had this always in my back of the mind. I was like, always, yes, I want to see this again, and I want to see it in the future again. And now I'm really actually curious to dig into this little universe they created to see more, and I want to see this musical.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm just very curious and amazed what they did, and I'm like just looking forward to watch this movie again, maybe with my own children, see what happens with them and how funny they think it is, and if it aged till then well or not. So yeah, all thumbs and legs up they can. It's amazing. Watch it if you haven't, and yeah, definitely we're gonna watch it in different languages again and try it out as much as it is.
Right.
So, how about you, Jason?
Very cool. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I like this movie. Before the movie started, I wouldn't have said I liked it, to be honest with you, because I just didn't remember really appreciating it that much. But it has grown on me over the time, or maybe I've grown enough to appreciate it more. Um, so yeah, this is in the vein of, like Steve said, one of those movies that adults will love and kids will love. Kids aren't going to get all the jokes, and that's fine. But there's so many jokes in there for kids to like really latch on to, and it's a short enough movie where I think most children of a certain age, they're going to be obsessed with it. They're going to pay attention to every scene and they're going to memorize it and want to see this movie a gazillion times. I'm pretty sure my siblings did when this movie came out. Um, Shrek was a really big deal. It still is a really big deal. Um, I would recommend this to just about anybody with a family. I mean, this should be in every family's library, I think. Not just because like it centers on like a fairy tale universe, a fairy tale world. Like, if you've ever known any fairy tale or any nursery rhyme, it makes a point of kind of like, centering itself around those stories with like these new characters like surrounding them. So this thing could be for anybody of any age, 8 years old to probably 80 years old. I think would enjoy this movie, and I think this is one of those movies that is probably going because of that. It's probably going to hold up. The animation's good enough. I think this thing holds up probably for another 20, 25 years. Honestly, it's funny. Great performances in it. Would I watch it again? Yes, I would watch this again. No time soon. I mean, I don't really watch any movie anytime soon. But yeah, I would watch this again. I would love to see what my children think of this thing in the future. Not that I have any children, but should I have children, I think I would like to see how they respond to this thing. I would imagine probably favorably. So yeah, those are my final thoughts on this movie, and I look forward to seeing another Shrek film and a Puss in Boots movie, maybe.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm very happy we reviewed this movie.
Yeah, thank
Finally
you for
got to
bringing
it.
it to Cinema Club. Uh,
Yeah.
so I guess that leaves me with one final question for the evening, and that's Steve. What do you got for us next week?
Next week, I am so happy that you asked me because we just watched Shrek 1. We're going to jump to Shrek 4, and we're going.
We're going through it all now.
Right.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
we're
Shrek Club now.
skipping it. We're skipping ahead. No, I'm kidding. Since technically when this airs out is 2026, but here where we're filming is the holiday season, and we're technically in about our last cinema club of the year. So I want to wrap it up with a little bow and watch a very iconic holiday theme film. It's also from the actor of the last pick that I have, Will Ferrell, and we're going to watch
Elf.
Elf.
That's really funny. That's really funny. We were just talking about this movie. Yeah, that's great. Let's do it.
So there you go for Selena, Jason underscore Echoes, and me, Steve Des TV. We'll catch you next week. Bye
Bye.
bye.